Welcome to Zero to Hosted. My name is Royce, and in this video, we're going to continue on our journey to learning Linux. Let's go. So if you haven't seen any of my other videos, I definitely recommend checking out my video introducing the platform that I'm using to learn Linux right now, and that's called labx.io. I'll make sure there's a link somewhere on the screen now so that you can check that out and kind of learn about some of the pros and cons. Really, this video is just for me to continue my learning and bring you all along with me. I'm hoping that there's not going to be too many bumps in the road, but if there are, you'll see where it is and we'll figure them out together. So as I said, I'm doing this Linux for Noobs course here, so I'm just going to jump in and get started. Hopefully it takes me back to where I ended and not where my last video we kind of went back a little bit. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's all dive into the terminal here. Let's see. Oh, built in. I read that as bulletin and then type. Oh, CD is change directory and LS is for list. All right, after typing 20 press enter executed, you should see them. They didn't say what a shell was, but I'm assuming that means like the terminal itself or Linux itself probably. That's kind of cool. Let's see this. Oh. Oh, okay. In context of the current lab set of shell built-ins. Okay, so that's what that was when we just did the type. Cool. I feel like that was AI, but that was actually really helpful. I'm assuming it's just because many people have asked that question, but it was cool to be able to just highlight that and get the explanation. Oh, and then yeah, it adds the question here. Yeah, people must be asking that. What is the difference between a built-in command and external command? Yeah, I don't really care about that right now, so let's keep going. Okay. Oof. All right, this is a lot of text here that I'm not about to read. Let's see what else it says though. You should see a summary of the LS commands, options, and usage. It might look over. Okay. this part is pretty cool. You can use a colon. If you see the colon, you can press the space bar to see more, and I guess it'll just write more, or Q to quit and return to the command prompt. Okay, I don't know how much of that I'll remember, but hopefully that help thing will be helpful. Okay, let's scroll back down. There we go. Okay, that's kind of cool. This seems to be like another type of help. And we did this by, here, I'm going to do this quit here just so we can go back because I think I did it quickly here. But this is man, short for manual, and then put in the, the command that you want. So this one is the manual for list. One thing that I do think is interesting about this one is that it takes you to a different page rather than keeping you in that same command line. I feel like that might be a little bit weird or difficult to remember, but I'm assuming if I continue using it, it'll just be something that I get accustomed to. Up and down arrows to scroll by line. Okay. Oh, okay, that's cool. It like jumps the page. Space jumps the page, and then up and down just kind of moves it down more slowly. Okay, so I'm gonna try this search thing with the backslash. I can never remember if that's a backslash or a forward slash, but let's see. And we're gonna search for in node or inode. Let's see. So let's scroll up. So it's not on our page. Okay, inode. Okay, cool. Yeah, it worked. So I did when I did the backslash here, it actually pops up at the bottom down here. I don't know if you guys saw that the first time, but then I can type in whatever word that I'm looking for. So I did inode that time. It's going to just show the same thing again, but it's there. And then it's saying that to move to the next occurrence, I can press the N. Maybe there's not another occurrence on here. So let's do a different word, see if we can get something with multiple occurrences. Oh, look, it tells you pattern not found, press return. Okay. Okay, cool. Oh, and it tells you how many lines. This is pretty cool. So this is the manual page for ls, which is what we did. We did the man ls command on there. And now it's giving you information about it, saying we're at line 103 of 245. So almost 50% through this. Was that 50%? That doesn't seem like 50%, but maybe. Right? 250 divided by 2 is like 125. All right. Math maybe isn't my thing, but all right. Let's just do the word. I'm going to search for the word name using this backslash and do name. Okay, so we see a bunch of examples of name on here. So now let's use the backslash. Sorry, no, let's use the N to see if we can go to the next occurrence. Quote. Okay, so this one should be sort by word instead. So we should be going here next to this line next. Let's see. Yeah, okay, cool. So that does that. And then this over here says a capital N. I'm assuming that just means shift and N. It's kind of weird that they did it like that, but let's see. If we go back one. Yeah, okay, it does. So it goes back and puts it at the top of the page. All right, so we'll search the manual using the backslash, and then we'll type in the word that we're looking for. Then once we found that word, let's see if okay. Once we found that word, we can use in or shift and in order to move forwards or backwards. All right. Press Q to quit the man page and return to the command prompt. Okay. I'm gonna quit this one because I'm familiar with this one. It says try grep down here, and I'm gonna actually read that one since that's one I'm not familiar with. So let's do Q over here, then man space grep. Okay, so we're in here. It gives us the first one on line 1. Cool. So name grep, egrep, fgrep, rgrep, print lines that match patterns. Okay. Okay. Grep searches for patterns in each file. Patterns is one or more patterns separated by new line characters, and grep prints each line that matches a pattern. Typically, patterns should be quoted when grep is used in a shell command. A file of no file is given. Recursive searches examine the working directory, and non-recursive searches read standard input. Okay, I don't know that any of that made sense. The only thing that makes sense to me so far from reading any of that is that this egrep, fgrep, rgrep can also be written as grep-e, grep-f, and grep-r, and these are older versions of this and have been deprecated, which essentially means they're not used anymore, and they've come up with, for whatever reason, they've come up with a better use of it or another way to do the same thing. All this other stuff, I don't know that I understood. Maybe I don't need to understand it yet. I'm gonna keep reading a little bit more just to see. But yeah, let's just see. Also, just, you can't really see this part, but you can scroll through this. Like, I'm using a trackpad to scroll through this. You don't have to use the arrows, which is nice. It goes a little bit faster, but just something to know. Grep help, I'll put a usage message and exit. Okay. Oh, maybe this grep it maybe stands for like get repeating or something, because it's talking about patterns a lot. I'm not sure that I understand, but maybe it's like get things that repeat. So they put those two things together. None of this is making more sense, and it's good they're not saying that it needs to make sense to me right now, because it doesn't. The one thing that is standing out to me on this page right now is the regex, which if I'm, I was gonna say if I'm right, but it's right here. It stands for regular expressions. It's like a combination of those two words, which is why I'm thinking the grep stands for get repeating. In regular expressions, I'm not super familiar with them, but I've seen them used sometimes in formulas and things like that to like print something in a way that is more human readable, if I'm remembering correctly. Maybe don't quote me on that, but if you're watching this, you probably shouldn't be quoting me on anything, and we should just be learning together. Okay. Interestingly enough, this one doesn't have like a percentage of how many lines I'm done. I wonder if I do the help reg x. Oh, interesting. Okay, that took me to the very bottom of this page, which seems like a lot. But maybe it's good to see full documentation, complete manual here. Okay, so that's pretty cool. You can get a link to something. I don't know if this link will work. Like, how do you click this link? Okay, so I right clicked here. I don't know if this would be happening in a regular terminal. Maybe this is just because I'm on the internet. we're getting an option to like open the link here. So I'm just going to click it and see what happens. Oh yeah, that's interesting. So this whole desktop thing is running as its own computer environment. I think it's opening in Mozilla Firefox because from what I've read so far, Firefox is like a Linux based or Linux compatible, I'll say, web browser. Most of us probably are not using Firefox in our regular day. It's Chrome or whatever that thing is that replaced Internet Explorer with the E. I don't know what it's, maybe is it Edge? Maybe it's Edge. I don't know what it's called. But yeah. So I don't know if this is actually gonna load though. And it doesn't look like it will. That's cool though. We don't need to kind of go into that now. I'll try to close that. But it is cool that at the bottom of this manual page, we get full documentation for that. Regular man pages. Yeah, this is kind of cool being at the bottom of this. I'm kind of glad I did get to the bottom of this in this way. I probably was going to click out of this here. Let me just see if there's anything else that might be good, and then I'll go back down. But also, this is a lot. Specify the color and other attributes used to highlight various parts of the output. Okay, yeah, I don't know if any of this is interesting here, but at the bottom of this manual, and maybe I'll do it for one other command in just a second to see if it has this. I don't think the list one that we just did has it, but I'll go back and look. So it has some bugs here, which is good to know when things just don't work. Maybe it is known that it doesn't work and there's a workaround or someone's talking about it. That's really good to know. This one here says an example. The following example outputs the location and contents of any line containing F and ending in C within all files in the current directory whose names contain G and end in .h. That is oddly specific. In option outputs line numbers, the argument treats expressions of starting with. Okay, none of that really makes sense. But it's, I guess maybe if it made more sense, it would be good that there was an example here. I'm going to try to go to another command that I'm more familiar with and see if it has like an example that will make sense for us. So let's go there now. So we'll do what it says down here to press Q to quit. And then, so now we're back in the regular terminal, and then I'm gonna do man one more time. Oops, man, and then let's do echo. We didn't talk about this in the first one because I had already kind of moved past this part, but echo is a way to write something or have the terminal say it back. So let me show you first before we look at the manual. So if I type echo and then hello world, I think when I hit enter, it's gonna just write back hello world. So let's see if it actually does that. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's what echo does. So let's go now into the manual using the man command and see what it says about echo. Okay, echo display a line of text. So I was pretty spot on. Short option, string, long option, the strings to standard output. Okay, so this one has bugs. I think it's interesting that the formatting of these manuals seem to be a little bit different depending on the command that you're looking up, but I'm assuming it has good enough information. This February 2024 is interesting. I don't know if you saw in the last one, but in the last one it said 2019, I think, or like 2017, something much older, or not older, but many more years from now in 2026. So I wonder if that means that this was updated at that time. All right, well, that's cool. That's the manual thing. Let's see what else is over here. Use it. Okay. Cool. So inspect it again, passed again. Find related commands. Okay. Apropos. I don't know how to say that. Command helps you find commands. Apropos. Huh. All right, let's quit this. Oops. Okay, cool. So it's saying apropos and then password. Let's see. List of commands that have password in the description. Okay, the output might be quite long. Each line will show a command followed by a brief description. For example, you might see something like this. Okay. Oh yeah, this is a lot of things. Okay, cool. Oops. Start here. Change user password expiration information. I guess that's what that means. Update group passwords in batch mode. Update passwords in batch mode. Copy with locking the given file to password or maybe group. Get password file entry. Get shadow password file entry. Checking it for its password expiration policy. Okay, reconstruct password line entry. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if, yeah, most of these don't mean anything to me at this point, but let's try a different one for apropos. Let's say user. Let's see if anything comes up for that. A bunch for this one, as you would kind of expect. I think it would be cool if this wasn't in, looks like it's in alphabetical order, and it wasn't in alphabetical order, and instead it was in like most commonly used. I think that would be maybe hard to figure out in this way, and just ordering it by alphabetical order is easier, but that could be cool. Okay, well, they are doing something here, because this add user config and then delete user config and then head are like a group of things, and then it goes into kind of the alphabetical thing there. Okay, that's cool. Add a user for group to the system. Okay, so we learned so far apropos, and the other one was man was for the manual, but there was something else, right? Oh no, that was it. Okay, cool. That's what we've done so far. So manual, apropos. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go, how do you get to the bottom? Oh, there we go. The down arrow just took me to the bottom of that. I'm gonna do the clear command because there's just a lot of text here, and bam. So clear will erase anything that's on the terminal screen, and it hitting the up arrow will take you back to your last command that you did. You can do that to like kind of go through some different ones. I don't know how many commands it'll keep. And then going back down, hitting the down arrow will kind of take you back through where you're at as well. Show you commands related to file operations. Oh, okay, hold on. This will show you commands. So this one is a file. So we're getting for file, and then this will show you commands related to file operations. There are many commands in Linux that deal with files. Cool. grep create. So they're using this grep as like a filter, in order to go through to filter this list down. So let's do two things first. We're going to do the app pro post and file and see what comes up first. A bunch of stuff all the way to Z, which is cool. I wonder if there's a way to go. No. How do I jump to the top of this? Yeah, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Oh man, that's crazy. It actually is so much stuff that I would assume that there's more stuff on this list, but that it is not showing. That's interesting. You would think that it would show the top first, not the bottom. But yeah, that's interesting. So let me go hit the down arrow. Cool, it does still take me back down. And now we're gonna do it with the grep propose file. So I'm assuming this is going to be anything, and it probably tells me over there, but anything that has the word create or is related to creating records that is also about files. Okay, yeah. So this list is shorter for sure. Yeah, definitely a shorter list. So files. So related to files and has the word create in it. It doesn't seem like this would be Git repeating. Maybe it's like Git some type of reference to it or something like that. Okay. Cool. Okay. Type is built in external. Help is equipped. Okay, so let me actually do, because I would like to maybe understand this grep a little bit better. Let's see what it says for that. We did the manual before for this. This is still a lot. Let's see. Okay. Search for patterns in each file. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Cool. So like I said, this is a little bit of the gamification of this platform, for better or for worse. I'm just gonna hit submit. Oh, I did think it was pretty good, honestly. So what it does when you go to the next one, it does seem like it creates a new virtual machine. See how it's setting up a different one. So it's not necessarily a problem with that, but it's just something to keep in mind. If you were doing something previously, it's not going to be in this next machine. All right, launch the terminal. All right, so we're going to be looking at deleting files, copying files, moving files in this section. So probably not too bad. Okay, so before, so this is saying that I want to remove a file with this name. Before I do that, I actually just want to list, all right, it says it's in LabX project. Okay, so I just want to list in this directory. So I think ls should do that. Cool, and it has, although is this the directory? Okay, let me do change directory. I think this line is actually the directory because it doesn't have the dot text on it. So I'm gonna go change directory and then do challenge 1, see if that works. Okay. A noun list, let's see. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. And I don't know if this is going to change this, or maybe I should just look, delete the file challenge one from, oh yeah, okay, that's what it says here. So what I started out with, I was in this project and I thought, let's look to make sure that the thing that they're saying I need to delete is in this directory. So the directory is the project directory here. I listed it and I saw another list of directories. So these are like folders and subfolders would be the way I'm understanding it right now. And what I saw when I did the first list is that there were subdirectories here. So I was like, okay, cool. The thing that they're asking me to delete is not in this. I need to go to that directory. And that's what this cd command is doing. It's going change directory, cd, and then you put in the name of the directory, no quotes or anything like that. And you know you've changed that because now instead of it saying project as the directory, it's saying challenge one as the directory, which is the directory I chose. And then once I'm there, I did the list and it says challenge1.txt. So I think I kind of skipped some of these already, but I think that was the right steps to do. So hopefully that made sense to you and you kind of thought through that process as well. Delete the file from, okay, so we're in that. So I'm just going to use, so they're saying the delete file command is rm. I'm going to do rm and then type in the name of that file. Okay. So that doesn't look like it did anything, but sometimes that happens, or I feel like that happens a lot. Like the action takes place, but nothing else actually happened. So I'm going to go back into, and I'm gonna do the same list command to see if now, if it's empty essentially. So ls, cool. I think that just means that it's empty. Cool, yeah. Okay, the next step, copy. Okay, CP is copy, easy enough, a folder name. Okay, copy it to challenge 2. Okay. So I'm gonna change the directory now and go back to my home directory, and I think the tilde, if I remember correctly, will take us home. Maybe that's not what I wanted. Okay, yeah. So tilde takes us home, but I think in this case that was too far back. I wanted to actually go into project. So let's do cd project. Okay, so I'm back in project, and it's saying that it's in challenge 2. So we know that this is already a directory here. So I'll just do cd again. I think I'll be honest with you, I don't probably need to do all of these steps in order to do this. I'm trying to work through it in my head to remember the commands and where things live and how to navigate through them. So this is probably not the most efficient way to get through this section and do this task, but because I'm learning, I'm trying to go through the steps and go through the reps of figuring out where this stuff is. Change directory challenge 2. Great, we're gonna list. Cool, so challenge 2 does have the file that they're talking about, and they're saying now I need to copy that file into challenge 1. So I think that's as easy as going CP, because there was a lesson on this before, and this is kind of one of those things I was talking about where you may not always remember the things that you did, especially when it's new, if you're not like really reinforcing it. So I'm going to try to reinforce this one and see, and just kind of take a guess and see if this is the right thing. I think what I need to do is go the copy command, tell it what I want to copy. Although now I'm thinking that this needs to be 2 separate steps. But I'm just going to hit enter. Yeah. Missing destination file operated after. Okay, so I think instead of doing this, if I just tell it where I want it to go, it will it'll put the copy there. So I'm gonna go back and do that again. Oops. And I want it to go into okay. That seemed like that command worked. Let's change our directory back to, oops, this. Uh-oh. Not a directory. That's interesting. Did I spell it wrong? CHALLENGE 1. Okay, let's do this. LabX, or no, change directory project. That's interesting. Let's go. Okay. So this is the home. Now I want to list what's in the home. That should be project. Okay, so CD. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, now I'm in project. Now change directory. Or no, before I change, let's do list. Okay, maybe I couldn't get, okay. Okay. No, it's not there. Okay, so the copy didn't work. It didn't place it where am I at? This copy command didn't work up here to put it into this. So I'll need to go back and look at that. But what we saw after I went back to do that is I tried to change directory from inside of this directory, which was not the right one, which seems kind of weird that you wouldn't be able to search all directories because the directory does exist. I'm in it now. I wonder if there's another. So we're going to do the let's try CD, go back home, then project, and then let's just do help first. Oh wait, no. I'm not trying to change directory. I want the help for that command. And I cannot remember what it is. So let's see. I remember this one though. Man CD. No manual entry for CD. Maybe because I'm in that folder. I don't know. That's weird. That's okay. Man CD. No manual entry for CD. Okay, let's use one we did before. Okay. That seems weird that there's no manual entry for that command after they just said that there's a lot of these things. Okay. Man. Let me go back. So I'm going to see what the help command was. Actually, I'm just going to do a Google for it to Command dash dash help. Yeah, okay, so I was doing it right. Man, CD. That is so interesting. Okay, let's look back here really quick. Work in the Linux terminal, use the command copy to, okay. Oh, but it, okay, so I copied it into, where did I copy it into? Let's go change directory, projects, or project. Okay. Change directory, challenge 2. Oh. Yeah, challenge. Okay. Now list here, let's see if it has the 2. Like, to me, I think it's move. All right, let's do, okay, move. All right, we might be stuck for today. But I think that's good, right? That's part of the learning process. I'll have to figure out what I'm doing wrong here because I got the copy or at least I think I got the copy. But yeah, we'll call it a day for right now. Definitely check out the next episode to figure out how I fix this issue and move past this. I'll make sure not to do any more work until I do that so we can come back and talk about it together. But it was some cool things that we learned today. We covered the man command that gets you to the manual, the apropos that talked a little bit about, what did that talk about actually? Let's go back so that we can actually learn something. Here we go. Define commands with this. That's what it was. This specific keywords. We used the grep to kind of search for words inside of that, which was also good. We did the manual. We did a delete. We couldn't figure out how to move the files, but that's okay. We will go back to that. Yeah, this one looks like it's cool that they kept it now. I'm assuming that this timer means that it gets erased after that time, so it won't be back when we come back together again, but we'll pick up right on this one and I'll try to figure out how to move through there. The other thing that we did kind of remember or start to learn is that you can't change directories from inside a directory, which seems weird, and I kind of want to stress test that a little bit more to make sure that is the right thing. But yeah, that's where we're at with that. I appreciate you all sticking around for this, and I'll see you in the next one.